Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's live album reaction. Today, we're going to be reacting to some guys from North America that no longer exist. Well, they exist as people, but they don't exist as a group anymore. And I think it could be our kind of music, actually.
Okay.
It could be mine. Let's have a look a little bit. We'll read about them on Wikipedia briefly. So Brett's probably heard of them. They're called Pretty Much. They were an American-Canadian pop and R&B boy band based in Los Angeles. They disbanded in 2023. So, yeah, I like the idea of this. Pop and R&B, a boy band.
Very much. Yeah, it ticks a lot of your boxes, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. So I'm really excited about this. Brett, can you see the Spotify page?
Yeah, that's showing.
So this is one of their first EPs they've done from 2018. It's only got 4 songs on there. Hello, 10,000 Hours, Healthy, and On My Way. So I'm guessing you haven't heard of Pretty Much.
I have not.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they made it big outside of North America. Maybe that's why you haven't heard of them. I haven't heard of them either. I hadn't. So you ready to get going?
Also fairly. I was gonna say also they're kind of sort of modernish as well, so probably that's also another reason why.
Yeah,
Probably maybe not
yeah.
heard of them either. But yeah, pretty much ready to go.
Excellent. Let's do it then. Smash it out. Yeah, I think I just hit play and we're good to go. Brett, tell me if you got sound or not.
Yo, it's pretty much. Hello. Hey. Okay. See me on TV, now you wanna say what's up. Heard you play my song top down when you pull up to the club. Used to hit do not disturb when I tried to call you up. Yeah. Said that we had no future, now you trying to keep in touch. Nah. Used to put my heart inside the friend zone, but baby I could throw it out the window. You could pay me back on the low. Hey, you know. You said hello. What you said, girl? Hello. Used to be like blah blah blah. Now you playing with my mind. Hello. Used to be like blah blah blah. Now you here and I don't mind. I guess that's fine. Time, girl, I gotta catch a flight. Thinking if you're here alone, we could kick it for the night. We could kick it. Where you make that cake look good, maybe wanna take a bite. Yeah. Put that denim in reverse, back it up into my life. Back it up. Used to put my heart inside the friend zone, but baby I could throw it out the window. You could pay me back on the low. Hey, you know. Hey, you said hello. Used to be like blah blah blah. Now you playing with my mind. Hello. Used to be like blah blah blah. Now you're here and I don't mind. Guess that's
Okay, so Hotsy, let's go over to you.
Okay, I'm going to be odds again am I this time. Okay. Yeah, I'm really intrigued to get your sort of take on it because we were sort of joking at the start, pick a lot of boxes for you, but I can imagine you very much enjoying this sort of stuff here. Um, yeah, I think in this first track, I would say feel more down the pop avenue rather than an R&B avenue. Definitely got that boy band feel coming through, right? And I think there is sort of some real nods to sort of what we would call old school back in the 90s kind of boy bands kind of sounds and feels. There's bits where it's tried to be, a bit more modern, a bit trendy, and as Corny came in, but we sort of had those exact same things happen like 3 or 4 times. And I have to say, it felt a bit repetitive by the fourth time because it felt like it was trying to be quite varied, but actually, on reflection of the song, it wasn't that varied much at all. Tried to be catchy, but it wasn't catchy enough to be like a real sort of catchy song. I think it's a good, nice sort of opening to set things out there, and nothing else at the moment. See what the other songs are like. I think it just hits towards everything that it was trying to do there. To be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, Shirley.
So, for me, I think it's done exactly what it kind of said it would on the tin, right? Which is this sort of mixture of pop and R&B, which I thought I was going to really like, just purely based on that, which is a bit naive. And it wasn't that I didn't like it, I didn't like it as much as I thought I would. I like you, I do agree as well. Like, it seemed like there was a lot going on, but in reflection, it was quite... There wasn't a great deal going on. It was quite repetitive. So that's something I totally agree with. So I don't quite know why I wasn't overly in love with it. Because like I say, I like R&B. I like pop. Maybe, unlike you, maybe I think it had more of it was a little bit too R&B. I know you said you thought it was kind of more pop than R&B. I'm thinking maybe it was a little bit, had an R&B sort of like, too much of an R&B sort of feel to it. And I don't know. I didn't mind it. It was all right. It's kind of like my cup of tea. I think it's a good base. Sort of think, okay, this is quite encouraging, and I'm hoping that at least just one of these remaining 3 songs I'm going to like and would want to put on a playlist. But who knows? Let's see. Let's move on to the next one then, which is 10,000 Hours.
Yeah, it's pretty much. They say time is money. You know I'm still young. Gonna spend all mine on you. Practice, it makes perfect. So when you show up, gonna put this time to use. Nights on nights on nights, days on days on days. Clockwork, light work, homework. We don't take no breaks. I get A's on A's. Ain't gotta calculate. Clockwork, light work, homework. Babe, I'm about to take 10,000 hours. Loving you, we gon' get it right, baby. 10,000 hours. Loving you, do it every night, baby. I put in the time if you let me. I fill up your mind with some memory. I'm about to take 10,000 hours. Loving you, we gon' get it right, baby. Body, it's a problem. Let me study, get some knowledge from you. Yeah, we can't do this often. Listen, trust me, you should cancel all your plans. Nights on nights on nights, oh yeah. Days on days on days, oh yeah. Clockwork, light work, homework. We don't take no breaks. I get A's on A's, ain't gotta calculate. Clockwork, light work, homework. Babe, I'm about to take 10,000 hours. Loving you, we gon' get it right, baby. 10,000 I know you like it. Loving you, do it every night, baby. I put in the time. your emotion. Making hours out of seconds. Hallelujah about the blessing. 10,000 hours loving you. We gon' get it right, get it right, get it right. 10,000 hours loving you. Do it every night, baby. I put in the time if you let me. I fill up your mind with some memories. 10,000 hours, baby, got you. We gon' get it right, baby. I'll put in the time if you let me. Fill up your mind with some memories. I'll put in the time if you let me. Fill up your mind with some memories. If you let me, babe. Fill up your mind, baby. Oh, fill up your time. I put in the time, babe. Fill up your mind with some memories.
Right, so I think I prefer the first song. I think it was more catchy, the first song, that hello sort of chorus. Although I do think this song had more about it in the sense of it's a bit more kind of going on, different parts, different singers or rappers, whatever they want to call them, came in, did their bit. I think the first track was more of a kind of, I can imagine that being more of a released kind of song, whereas this it's a little bit more niche maybe, but yeah, I didn't mind it. It had that overall sort of strong R&B. I'd say this one probably was more R&B than the first one. I know you said the first one was quite poppy, and I sort of said it was quite R&B. I think this one definitely was more R&B than that first one though. And I don't mind listening to it, because like I say, it is sort of genre that I like, a sort of mixture of pop, R&B, so I'm never going to really hate on this kind of stuff, but it's just not doing enough for me at the moment for me to say that I actually like it. So yeah, I'm a little disappointed so far, but it could be it could be worse. It's not bad overall. I just don't quite know what it's missing or what I'm looking for. I think I need something a little bit more poppy. Anyway, what about you? How did you find this track?
Yeah, again, agree with some of the things you're saying there. I think looking back on the first one, yeah, when I said that was lacking R&B, was more poppy. This one, as you said, definitely a stronger R&B feel to it. I was just thinking about the previous one, and maybe it wasn't a case of the other one was more poppy, or let's say it was more maybe a case of it was lacking pop and R&B elements, the previous track, or this one at least felt a bit more sort of R&B to it there. Yeah, it's like you say, it's hard to hate on it. There's nothing bad or wrong with it, but it is lacking something. And I feel for me, maybe it's a case of, this is probably a very competitive market to get into. And you either need to be really poppy and really catchy to get something in, or a bit more edgy or something about it just to be, if you're going to go down that sort of R&B side of things. And it's kind of sort of in a limbo where it's trying to please both markets. And it probably is a market for it, and there's probably a lot of people who, probably do really like it. And that probably edges on to your point, we say you kind of either want something a bit more poppy from it or something different. And I think that's what I think it's just sort of a bit core. We've had this with a previous band as well. I can't remember who it was, where I was saying the same sort of thing, where it's kind of caught in a limbo where it's neither one or the other, or it's too much of each other, and it sort of loses its place a little bit. As I said, yeah, nothing wrong, pleasant to listen to, and quite enjoy listening to that, but I wouldn't be begging to try and want to listen to it again, but wouldn't mind hearing it again if it sort of came up. I wouldn't reach out to listen to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'll talk more about that at the end. I've got a few interesting points to make about what you just said there. So the next track then is Healthy.
And I'm sick thinking about you when you're not with me. No, this ain't healthy. Don't even smile, don't even look at me. Don't say the words, you know what's gonna happen. Cause only you know what it does to me. Heart beat fast like it's trying to run from me. I'm losing sleep, they said that would happen. First one I hit up when something good happens. I'm going through it, but this is not normal. Nightmares of buying everything you want for you. And when you hit that dunk, you know I'm right there with you. I'll pass it right back to you, girl, let me assist you. You don't understand how much I stand us. When you're standing next to me, I pull a stand and throw up. Nobody knows what it feels like. Nobody knows how to help me. And I'm starting to think there's something wrong with me. No, this ain't healthy. How much I think about you every day. There's no counting all the miles I go out my way. And I'm sick thinking about you when you're not with me. No, this ain't healthy. Don't even smile, don't even start laughing. Stop being cute, you know what's gonna happen. It's like my heart about to skyrocket. Got me all tense like I'm out here pop locking. And when you hit that dunk, you know I'm right there with you. Yeah, even when you're in my arms, I kinda miss you. You don't understand how much I stand us. When you're standing next to me, I pull a stand and throw up. Nobody knows what it feels like. Nobody knows how to help me. And I'm starting to think there's something wrong with me. No, this ain't healthy. How much I think about you every day. There's no counting all the miles I go out my way. And I'm sick thinking about you when you're not with me. No, this ain't healthy. And in my heart it feels like no one else been there before you. And I'm sorry for the time you ever thought that I ignored you. I'm sorry, babe, it's just the way it works. You get that feeling in me jumping when you flirt. So when you come around me wearing that, yeah, I might be smiling, but it hurts. And nobody knows what it feels like. Nobody knows how to help me. And I'm starting to think there's something wrong with me. No, this ain't healthy. How much I think about you every day. There's no counting all the miles I go out my way. And I'm sick thinking about you when you're not with me. No, this ain't healthy. And I'm sick thinking about you when you're not with me. No, this ain't healthy.
Right. Straight over to you then.
Yeah, again, don't sound quite the same old as that. So this has that same sort of suit as the first track, and again, I feel like it's in that, like I was saying before, the previous one where maybe the limbo between sort of pop and thing. Again, nothing dislike of it. I enjoy while I listen to it. Not rushing to listen to it again, but again, if it came on, wouldn't mind too. There, this one I kind of feel, and again, it probably was similar with the first one, where I could just I've got this imagination of like sort of AI sort of creators where someone's putting a thing. I want to do a boy band pop meets R&B, and it's not like it's got some overly cliche things in there of both those genres. I suppose it has got a little bit. Like I can really, like I said, I can really hear that sort of boy band cliche coming through. And I think with R&B, where it's trying to be, it's not even like rappy. I don't know. You're probably better knowledge on that. That's all kind of rapish parts, but it's just I don't want to use the word weak, but it's just not. I can't think of the word to it. It's something that lacks about it. It's just a bit sort of almost trying to do it for the sake of doing it, and it's sort of doing there. But what I will say, and maybe this is probably more for the end as well, that this is an EP, and I think maybe we sometimes do go a bit harsh on EPs. They're not intended to be, like a released album with all their best stuff or fully released. We don't even know what were released singles or stuff there. So I think just keeping in mind, I think for me myself, yeah, keeping in mind that it is an EP that needs to be maybe taken into consideration. Again, like the others, nothing wrong with it. Just again, just maybe missing something to yeah take to like next level stuff.
Yeah, I thought this was the most poppy of the three so far, and it's just really frustrating for me because I feel like I should really be digging this, but there's something about it that's just not allowing me to really like this. This is probably the best of the three for me. I think it probably just edges it over the first one. It had a sort of nice sort of overall pop feel, sort of R&B kind of backing feel to it as well. But I don't know what it is about it. I just can't get like overly into it. It was pretty good. I would like a little bit more. I want to be in a position where I can say, right, I really like this. I'm going to put it on the playlist, but we're not at that stage at all. So I can't quite put my finger on it. What it is that that's stopping that from happening. But yeah, I don't know. Again, I've got a few things to say at the end. I think I will say it till the end when we sum up. But yeah, I didn't mind that. I really didn't. It's quite nice to listen to. But I just came into this with high expectations for no reason whatsoever, apart from the fact of their genre. So I can't complain too much. Right, the next one is On My Way.
Every time we do this, it's the same thing. I know when we fight, we'll be fine by the morning. You storm out the house, say you're done here. I just let you leave, let you go on some dumb shit. All I can think about is some guy trying to pull you close, thinking he might take you home. All I can think about is you. I know my girl's in another club, somebody else, girl, there's nobody else. No, I'm late, but I'm on my way. On my way. I know my girl's in another club, 'cause I beat up, girl, let me pick you up. No, I'm late, but I'm on my way. On my way. My girl in the party can't control it. I'm talking about a body when she moves, way she on it. Now I'm speeding way over the limit, 'cause I can't get my mind off some guy trying to own it. All I can think about is some guy trying to pull you close, thinking he might take you home. All I can think about is you.
Okay. I think for me the theme continues in the sense of I liked it, but not like, well, I'm going to put it on a playlist. Yeah, I don't know. I thought this one felt a bit different. Maybe slightly more mature in a way. I just wasn't overly keen on like the chorus part, but I did like that kind of the sort of feel to this one somehow. It just felt a little bit more. I don't know, something about it just felt different, in a good way. Felt a bit smoother somehow. It didn't feel quite as cheap and tacky as some of the others. I don't know, for some reason. So I was thinking, is this my favourite? I don't know. I think they're all kind of on a par. Maybe I said the second one. I'd probably say the second, maybe the third one or the fourth one. I'm not sure what order I'd put them in. I think I put the second one probably at the bottom. The first one was all right as well. I did actually quite like this. Like for 4 tracks, they were all very, very listenable. But I just wouldn't be rushing back to listen to any of those tracks again, which is disappointing for me. So normally, if I'm just going into an album without knowing anything about it at all, which basically we've done, I'd be very satisfied with that. The fact there's 4, half decent songs on there. So I can't really complain. I just a bit disappointed there wasn't one that I really, really liked and would want to put on a playlist really. So I'm going to sum up in a moment. Well, after you tell me about how you found this, and then you can sum up, and then I'll come back to me and I'll sum up. So how did you find it, this particular song?
Okay. I'll say right from the start, I feel, as you said, they're generally all on par. They're all very similar in their levels, not sort of the exact sound and stuff there. The reason I'm saying that, because I probably might edge this number 4 just slightly ahead of it. I did quite like it a little bit more. I was struggling to understand what was it about it? Because I was going to go, oh, has it got a bit of a dancey kind of element to it? It's not that really. It's still quite poppy mostly. And maybe the words you said, maybe felt a bit more mature, less cheap, or there was something for me personally about that particular one. Again, not enough to really go, yeah, I want to get on a playlist, or yeah, I want to go back and listen to that again. But it was slightly my favorite out of the 4. And it goes back to what I was saying about with the previous track. I think maybe it's just all a bit safe, cliche, like AI cliche in terms of what, boy band R&B, safe pop song, what would you produce? And that's what it comes out with. I haven't really said much about their voices. I think they generally do sound like they've got very good voices. But it goes back with all the songs. I think there's just not enough for it to sort of stand out or go, oh yeah, that sounds really distinctive, or that part sounds really, really good. It's just all, yeah, I think just sort of playing it fairly, fairly safe. In terms of then the EP itself, like I said, I do want to give it, try not to be too harsh because it's an EP and not the same as listening to an album or singles. It'll be interesting to see if any of these were released as a single. I think you probably maybe the first one's most likely to have been. I don't know, maybe Healthy actually could have. Yeah, again, so I struggle because they all seem on fire. It's really hard to sort of tell on that there. So it's not an EP I would rush to. But at the same time, nothing too bad of it from there. And again, if these songs came on, wouldn't be any problem. But I would struggle. If I heard it, I'd probably go, have I heard? I feel like the song will come on and go, have I heard this before? It sounds quite familiar, and just not be able to pick up who it is, what it's about from there. So lacking in numerous areas to really sort of take it to a different level.
Okay, yeah. So for me, I think following on from what you were saying after the second track about kind of who it's targeting or who's the audience, I think for me it's like they're kind of lost in time. I don't know. I just think in I know this was from a while back actually. Was it 2018? This was from, but I just feel like I don't know who would be listening to this kind of stuff. Like people who are into their sort of R&B are probably going to find this a little bit too cheesy and not not like, wouldn't take it seriously. And then the pop side kind of feels a bit outdated. So I just don't quite see who would be big fans of this in some ways, in terms of like the real mainstreaming. I don't know, like of course people are going to like it, but in terms of like, I'm talking in the millions and stuff. I don't know, maybe that's why it didn't work out for them. I really don't know. I didn't look at the full story, why they broke up or split up. And I was going to say as well, to me, I think they'd be more successful in somewhere like Asia, that whole sort of P-pop, K-pop kind of thing. We've listened to like a lot of that kind of music. I feel like a lot of that music we listen to in the K-pop and P-pop scene is kind of more edgy, there's kind of more going on. But I still feel like they're in that kind of direction, and maybe I just feel they'd be appreciated more in Asia. If that makes any sense. I just feel like we've talked before about like pop music over there, and we've said how like pop music has changed and people just wouldn't listen to that kind of pop music they produce over there. And then I've also sort of said some of the R&B stuff, the rap stuff kind of feels a bit gimmicky sometimes. Like I just feel like that would fit into that category a bit more. So I really didn't mind this. I thought it was not bad. Quite enjoyed it. Like I say, nothing that didn't blow me away, should we say. So I think that's all we've got time for today. So thank you for watching. And just before we go, if you have a request for us, please donate to our channel. Send the request. You find the information down below in the description on ko-fi.com preferably, and we will guarantee and prioritize your album request for you. So thank you very much for your time, and goodbye.